Hello, everyone, and welcome to Like Mother, Like Murder, your favorite true crime mom cast. I am Rachel.
And I am Heather, and each week we cover mom-related true crime content, from missing moms to murdered moms, moms who commit the crime, and much more.
We will be getting right into the case today, but be sure to stick around for afterwards, where we will talk to you more openly and candidly in the afterthoughts and then get into some mom talk at the end. Today, we are talking about Lizzbeth Aleman Popoca. Lizzbeth was a 27-year-old mother who was reported missing on July 3rd, 2020, out of East Haven, Connecticut. She was born in Mexico in 1993, and during her childhood, she had to grow up pretty quickly because of her home life. Her mother left when she was young, around the age of 7, leaving her to step up and help out with her younger sister, giving her responsibility and maturity that no 7-year-old needs that young. But ultimately, it ended up shaping her into who she became.
At just 15 years old, Lizzbeth immigrated to the United States on her own in efforts to help her family back home, but also to create new opportunity and a new life for herself here in the States.
By the time she was 19, she was in a relationship with a man that she had met named Jonathan Hara Aquapino, and they had their first child together. And like most relationships, there were ups and downs. They were together for a decade, and things were not always good with this couple.
Lizzbeth's sister, Yaneth, ended up following Lizzbeth to the United States, and the two sisters were close. They had a bond and would confide in each other, and although Lizzbeth was described as being more personal, she did share some things to Yaneth over the years. She explains that Jonathan was very controlling and that Lizzbeth was in an abusive relationship based on manipulation, coercive control, emotional abuse, financial control, and he cheated on Lizzbeth multiple times. But she constantly tried to work it out because of their young daughter.
At this time in 2020, Yaneth says that Lizzbeth was actually looking for an out. She was trying to plan her life to be able to separate from Jonathan, even going as far as putting her name down on the waiting list for an apartment at her sister's apartment complex. And something that we see often in situations such as these, where there is a pattern of abuse, problem after problem, this behavior commonly escalates into something more.
And on June 30th, Lizzbeth seemingly vanished.
So on July 1st, Jonathan called Lizzbeth's sister and asked her if she knew where Lizzbeth was. Their daughter had called him that morning, telling him that mom wasn't home, and that when he left work and he got home, she still wasn't there. The next couple days, family and friends tried reaching out to Lizzbeth and waited to see if she would come home or they would hear from her. But ultimately, like Heather said, on July 3rd, 2020, Lizzbeth was reported missing by her family.
So when Jonathan was questioned, he explained that he worked an overnight job with UPS and that when he left for work, Lizzbeth had been asleep in bed.
And then, according to reports, he claimed that when he got home, her car was not parked outside. Her passport was gone, and it looked like she had packed some clothes and that $10,000 in cash was missing from their safe. And with all of this, Jonathan tells people that he believes that Lizzbeth left on her own. With his main theory, or whatever he said to those asking, was that Lizzbeth left to Mexico to marry someone to help get her citizenship situated.
And to investigators, things were just not adding up at all with what Jonathan was saying. They definitely were not taking his word for it, and of course, they were looking into him. Because in all missing persons cases, you need to look in every direction and start with those closest and those living with the person.
It really shows how dumb people can be, but as always, we're thankful for dumb criminals because they get caught easier. Surveillance footage shows a completely different story than what Jonathan was feeding law enforcement. When they started to dig deeper, this is what they found. Footage of Jonathan driving Lizzbeth's car after he said she had willingly left in it and that, her car was gone. He's driving it back and forth from his work site to their home. They have him on camera at Home Depot buying a shovel and a hoe. And they have surveillance from outside of their home of him spraying air freshener in the back of the trunk and near the back of the car.
Obviously, this is just so much already. And if all of that wasn't enough, the sad reality is that Lizzbeth's body was found just 2 weeks later, buried in a shallow grave in the back of a restaurant that Jonathan works at. The medical examiner released her cause of death as homicidal asphyxia.
Lizzbeth being found, where she was found, her cause of death, and then all of the surveillance footage of Jonathan painted a clear picture of what happened and who was responsible for her murder.
Jonathan Huara Acuapina was finally arrested nearly 6 months later on December 27th, 2020. And he was arrested and charged with the murder of Lizzbeth.
So just a quick recap. Lizzbeth had been reported missing July 3rd. July 15th, they find her remains outside of the restaurant that Jonathan worked at. They investigate it for the next few months, and they finally arrest him December 2020.
Jonathan was given a $2 million bond. And then over the next 4 years, he sat awaiting his trial, which unfortunately was a very common thing during this time because of COVID. Many trials just sat. 4 years later, February 7th of 2024, he finally pled guilty to the murder of his longtime girlfriend and mother of his child and was sentenced to 25 years in prison without the possibility of parole.
He is currently locked up where he deserves to be for hopefully the rest of his life. Lizzbeth's daughter was so loved and cared for by her mom growing up. Yaneth said that her sister, quote, devoted herself entirely to her daughter, determined to provide Astrid with the love and opportunities she had missed in her own childhood, end quote. Yaneth is now watching over Astrid, and I hope that they just continue to build such a beautiful bond together through this horribly tragic time.
We've said this before and we'll say it again. The most dangerous time in a relationship is when you are leaving, especially if that relationship is or has been abusive. The fact that the partner feels that they will lose control is statistically proven that this time in particular is extremely dangerous.
So you guys, please, if you are experiencing abuse in any kind, if you are in an unsafe relationship, we hope you find the strength to get the help that you need. You can look up local information on shelters or organizations that help in your area.
And the National Domestic Violence Hotline is free and confidential. The number is 1-800-799-SAFE, or you can text START to 88788. You can also check out the website, thehotline.org, for more information.
And lastly, another option is 988. It is a crisis hotline, and it's available 24/7. And always remember, you deserve a safe love, a happy love, and you deserve to be here. So that case, Lizzbeth's murder, is very just, here are the facts, here is what happened. Luckily, he was not pretty quickly, even 6 months is too long, especially because it's like she was found 2 weeks later.
Exactly.
But all of it happened, and there's just not a whole lot of information on anything else because it was, here's what happened, and it just freaking sucks.
It's just kind of crazy, though, like the audacity in 2020 that these people still have. I mean, this is a story that unfortunately we see this kind of shit all the time. Oh, she was saying she wanted to leave me, so I think she just took shit and left. Like,
Yeah.
or she, you know, she was threatening to a divorce, so she must have just left. I don't know what happened to her. She took the money in the car. And then I mean, still in 2020, oh, well, here's surveillance footage showing exactly that did not happen. Like, when are these men just going to be fucking, like,
How about when are these people? How about you just separate? How about you just let, hey, if she doesn't want to be with you, don't be with her. If you don't want to be with her, don't be with her. Like, the end of story. Why does it have to be this other stuff?
This
and in
egotistical, controlling, like, let that go. It's fucking 2026.
Like, not that I find it okay, but I mean, like, there wasn't like a motive of like, oh, I want to get all this life insurance. You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing clear that said he was in another relationship. It was just evil. It was just disgusting. It was that control of, if I can't have her, no one can.
Yep.
And that's disgusting.
Yep.
And it's so heartbreaking knowing that their child, that Astrid, I think she was 7 when it happened, so she's 11 maybe right now. And I could be wrong on that. But she didn't just lose her mom. She lost her dad because now he's locked up. And it's just, like, for fucking what?
Mm-hmm.
Every single time that we see stuff like this, it makes me more mad and more mad because these parents are being stripped away from their children.
Yep.
All the time.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. And him, like you said, with surveillance, it's like, you know, and I called him dumb in this episode. We love a dumb criminal because
get your ass caught.
You're not going to get very far when you're clearly this idiotic.
I mean,
you're gonna
6
get
months is I know it's
long,
like, oh,
way
it should have been,
long.
you know, it like, but when you think of the fact that it was COVID, that they, you know, that's always the thing too. And we know this now that people, you know, like that, and we want it to be an airtight case. Like, we understand that too, but like fucking surveillance, like, boom, there it is. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, so it's just one of those things that, you know, at least it wasn't years and years later, and that, you know, at least he sat in prison and sat in jail waiting trial. Like, this fucker didn't post the bond, and then now he's where he put himself, quite honestly, period. And it is. It's just so sad that, you know, their daughter has to deal with that for the rest of her life, knowing that what happened to her mom was at the hands of her dad.
Right.
For what? For fucking what? Exactly like you said.
And it's like he actually, I don't know the exact time frame on this, but not long after, he like pretty much dropped her off to the sister, to Yaneth, and was like, hey, she's pretty much moving in with you. And it wasn't in the sense of like, I'm searching for my wife who,
right,
or, you know,
it was, I don't want this responsibility. I brought this child into the world, but I can't be a parent. I mean, he can't even be a human, so it's not surprising. No. And it was probably better for her. It's probably better for the daughter to be with Yaneth. Absolutely. And so, but at the same time, it's like, see, he obviously, it wasn't for him about like, you know, like we've seen this before.
I'm not doing what's best for my daughter. It was just a selfish. Exactly. Everything he's done is selfish. That's all there is to say about that. I, you know, not that any of this is ever okay, but why do people think I'm going to go to the store and buy these things and think that they're not going to see me? Like, I will never
especially
understand
like
it.
Stores like Lowe's, especially nowadays too, with like self-checkouts and stuff like that. Like cameras, like if you, I don't know the last time you've been on the into camera, like a Lowe's.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like Lowe's now is pretty much all self-checkout, right? Like there's not actual things. You self-checkout. And you see the camera, like, right fucking there. I mean, at that point, I mean, I guess it's true. Like, you've already probably committed the crime, so what else are you going to do? But, like, duh. Like,
No,
duh.
you know, we were talking about when we did the update on Anna Walsh and Brian Walsh was convicted in her murder. When we were doing the update on that, we talked extensively about his trip to numerous stores, by the way, multiple stores, but Home Depot or Lowe's, probably Lowe's, and the things that he bought on that thing. And in that episode, I remember us talking about the fact that there needs to be, you know, these people create all these different databases. There needs to be a hardware store or store in general, whatever,
Seen
that
God
says
buying
if,
these.
well, it's like that it instantly triggers. I mean, I can work remote from home. Can I create this? How can I create this? Where if someone ever buys like 3 to 5 of the items off of this potential like list of what most criminals and murderers buy,
The police have to
then
do a
it
drive-by.
alerts you.
Like,
Exactly.
that's all.
Exactly.
Just drive
And
by
it's
the
just
house and
like,
see what the fuck.
yeah.
Are they painting and redoing their backyard?
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Also, if you're redoing your backyard, can I come back there and look what freaking
like
size plot you just dug up?
let's see, are you putting in a concrete slab? Because that is, you know, it's so true that these are just such like, and I feel like everything is digital now. It's not like it would be so easy, I feel like, to just be like, ping, right? Like, it could all be automated. Like, we have fucking AI. Like, this can't be
honestly
out of the realm of possibility, right?
You have these officers, they're busy. I understand that.
Sure.
You know,
but they get a lot more busy.
Have a lot going on. They get a lot more busy.
When there's a murder and now you're having to
investigating-
do a full ass investigation. Yeah.
Do the welfare checks, please. What would you even like? The potential murder welfare check.
Yeah.
PMWC.
PMW. I was doing that in my head.
Crazy.
PMWC.
The fact that even has to be a thought that crosses
I
our
know.
mind of something that should be created is insane. But I honestly feel like that should be. And you know what? I should look into it because maybe they already have something similar to this because other people have brains. I'm not the only one with a brain. I'm aware of that. But Jonathan didn't have a brain, and we're thankful for that.
Yeah,
so
honestly.
That is, you know, it's devastating. My heart, it just hurts for Astrid. I am so thankful that she has her, you know, Aunt Yeneth, and that they are together and a part of their life. You know, I said at the beginning that Lizzbeth had to take care of her.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just went from her taking care of her to now.
Circle.
Yes, exactly. And it's such a horrible and tragic thing. But to know that they still have each other is the only sliver of positivity in such a horrible story. So there you guys have it. That
I just got goosebumps with that one.
Oh, because it's freaking dumb. I'm in like a very like physically violent mode right now. Like, and when I say that, obviously I would never hurt anyone, but like I do have thoughts where I just want to like punch someone in the face.
Yeah.
and I kind of want to punch Jonathan in the face right now. So
as he deserves.
Putting that
I hope
out there.
he's getting punched in the face in prison. I'm a big
Please and
proponent
thank you.
in, you know, like jailhouse justice. You guys know how I am. I like say it all the time. Like, oh, he's fucking getting some jailhouse justice right now. Like, it's just, it's the only thing in my brain that like gives me a little bit of like, he'll get what he deserves kind of justice. You know, I'm so happy that he was caught and that everything went the way it's supposed to go. And, you know, and at least that motherfucker didn't draw it out in a trial and he pled guilty. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and so, but like the other part of me is like, I hope he's getting that fucking jailhouse.
And it's so funny because like depending on which version of me wakes up in the morning,
Oh yeah.
I am never like that. I'm never like, oh, I want him hurt. I want him to be locked up forever. I want him to only be able to stare at a wall and not enjoy a single ounce of his life again. Like that's what I want. And most of the time I'm like, no, I don't want someone to get hurt because I was raised two wrongs don't make a right, you know? But then there's days that I woke up and I'm just like, I want to hit him. I want to just hit him right now. It's a problem.
Yeah. Well, and I think about like the reason I think about things like that too is like, you know, based on the reports, there was a history of control and violence and abuse.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know what? You get what you get. Like if you're willing to fucking do it to the mother of your fucking child, then someone can go and punch you in the face.
There's not a whole lot of coverage and sources on this case. There was a lot of different like articles that I did read that kind of regurgitated the exact same information.
Yeah.
Like I said, there just wasn't a whole lot on it. You know, Crime Junkie did cover this. There were some YouTube videos that did cover this, and everything will be in the show notes because as I listen, of course, I take that. But you hear all these other conversations, or even in Crime Junkie or YouTube, where they talk about certain situations, and I wasn't able to find where that came from. So therefore, I didn't really put it in there. But even, I mean, in our afterthoughts, I'll say it. There was like a time where apparently Lizzbeth like showed up and like her arm was in a sling and she had like bruises and she had like a black eye and pretty much was like trying to tell her, no, like I hurt myself, you know, but she knew what it was. And then when she finally made the decision to try to leave and put her name on the waiting list, like we know that is the scariest time to leave. That is statistically proven the hardest time for someone to get out of the relationship. And she was trying to make that happen. And these people cannot give up their control. And they do these things. And so I just stay locked up forever. That's exactly what's going to happen. And it just breaks my heart for this family. So
yeah.
There you guys have it there. We are going to talk to you guys a little bit. Just mom talk. I feel like it's been a little while since you
It hasn't. We were just saying that. It's
yeah. You know, we did just have a GVC recently. I don't really know when this episode's even going out. But we had a GVC recently, so we are a little more open and candid and personalities and all that kind of show in those episodes. But it's been a little while since we just like do our mom talk segment at the end. So I just wanted to start by saying I felt like I should have like had a quote ready, but I feel like in my life right now, I am the most judgmental person there's ever been. Because I keep saying it where I do believe this, okay? I do believe this. Everyone's different. Yeah. Everyone's going to raise their kids differently. Everyone's going to parent differently. Everyone's going to live differently. Good for you. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing.
It is beautiful.
I don't need a robot army of Rachels, let me tell you. Nobody needs that. I am insane in my own, way. But at the same time, and I've always grown up thinking like, no, I don't judge nobody. I don't judge nobody. Nobody judging right now. And I don't like that. But at the same time, it's just like, I can't even help it. I can't even act like I don't at this point. So.
I feel like it's like, there's definitely like a difference though between someone who, I feel like we do this where we state our opinion like, what the fuck? And it is a judgment call. It's a judgment call. It's hey, but I feel like that's exactly because like judges, right? If you think about this, they are both objective and subjective in their ruling. So like objectively, like this wrong thing was done. This is the precedent for how much time this person had, like the consequences of that action. And subjectively, I can determine if it's on the lower end or the higher end and like, the consequences of that action. And I feel like with us, it's very much the same where it's like, okay, so like this thing was wrong. Okay. This was not a good parenting choice. These are not good behavioral choices. And then subjectively, we can consider mitigating circumstances. Well, that kid is going through a lot right now. That parent is going through a lot right now. Like, it's a full moon. It's like, whatever the fuck is the reason.
It's just funny that you're even like bringing logic into it right now, because the fact that like you're saying all of this, apparently I've been judging people for 4 years now since we've started this podcast, because I judge every criminal that we talk about on this podcast.
Right? But like, that's
like,
the
they don't
thing.
judge shit.
It's like,
I do all the time.
We judge, but then what is well, I guess it's more than that, because I keep going back to that thing. It was like, we listen, but we don't judge.
No, we
like,
listen,
you know, you're
and
fucking
we
judging.
definitely judge.
But at least, like, you know, I think there's a difference too. Like, I think about, like, you know, the typical trope of like, your mother-in-law comes to stay with you during your early baby days, and all they want to do is judge the way that you have parented. And, you know, but there is a difference, because like, you know, in that trope, not saying that this happened to me if my mother-in-law is listening, that like the judgy mother-in-law comes in and says, oh, you should put socks on that baby. Like, that's like a thing. And, you know, and then they judge you as a parent, and they say like, you're doing the wrong thing. And then they like throw it in your face. I feel like at least when we're judging, not maybe so much the criminals, because we do throw it in their face. Like, you are doing the thing, but like, it's
you're an
true.
idiot.
You're doing
we
the
don't
wrong
like
thing.
you.
Like, we consider what might be happening, and we don't always you are a bad parent, or you are a bad, you know, like,
because I mean, there's so much that it's like, obviously everyone has their reasons for things. Right. Everyone is the way they are for whatever
their life experience,
how they were raised.
Exactly.
Like so many things. And that's why I think motherhood, parenthood, life in general, you really do have to like give grace and understanding that people aren't going to do the exact same things. But I also have to give myself a little bit of grace and understanding that I'm gonna judge you now.
Which I feel like, you know what? It's a human thing. Like, we are, and even people who are like, oh, I don't judge. You just do it silently.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, you're in your head and you're telling, like, you're saying oof or you know, in your head. You're just not saying it out loud.
And I think my whole life I've always been like,
that doesn't make you better than me.
Well, I would do it like this, or like, oh, no, that's cool. For me, I think like if you say for me, you're judging. Like, you're instantly judging. If you start a sentence with, well, for me, I would. Okay, well, how about you just say, oh, good for you? Oh, my gosh.
But
and
the
funniest part about this is
nature.
It's not even like on a specific thing right now. This is just on like the overview of how I feel like life is going right now.
I feel like it's so funny because like, I think because I'm in a very, like, this is like a parenting heavy stage for me, right? I mean, I mean, so far, like, since I've had kids, is like,
it just changes.
It's just a new
like,
type of stage, right?
Yeah.
But like, we're in a very, it's obviously a very new place. We've got both kids in baseball right now, which has resulted in a lot of extra stress and a lot of time around other parents that I don't normally spend time around. So sometimes I'm like, the fuck? Okay. That being said, my child is getting ready to start her first year of real school, right? Like, my younger child is going from preschool to TK, and it's like, and I think she's starting to recognize that fact because and I'm
judging you for that. I feel like you should hold her back. And she shouldn't be allowed to grow up. So I'm judging.
I feel the same way. No, go ahead and judge. I'm going to judge the state of California for making my child grow up. Damn it. So basically, like, I think she knows. And so this is a very, like, she's been acting out a little bit more and just like not wanting to listen and just like, and I think she's feeling the fact that she's about to leave this preschool daycare that she's been at her whole entire life. This is the school that she knows. For the last 4 freaking years, this is where she has spent the majority of her days, right?
Right.
And so I think she's feeling that. And it's like, you know, bubbling up some issues. And so I know, like, when we're in the parking lot at swim practice and I tell my children, would you just chill out? for a second, I need you guys to chill. Just like take a few breaths and chill out. I know that there's a parent being like, "Ooh, the fuck is this, ladies?"
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, chill the fuck out. Like, I'm in a very, like, my parenting mode.
Overstimulated state.
I'm very, oh, God, every day I'm overstimulated. And I think with the addition of, I was making a list of all the extracurriculars because I also just signed the girls up for ASO. Both. And so I know that this is going to be, like, a lot. It's just a rough time. And I feel like these judgment calls get made. And I don't feel guilty about it. Quite honestly, I don't.
I had a similar, like how you felt outside of the swim lessons and like the things that you say. We were out to dinner last night. And here's the problem. I'm the problem. It's me. I am an early dinner person.
Samesies.
Don't ask
if
me
you
to
think
eat
of
at
anything
8
in
my I'm just early. I wake up early. I get to where I need to go early. I'm early, okay? That's how I need to live. It helps me. Okay. I know not everyone's like that. Well, my daughter comes home from school and she is hungry.
Okay.
Which I'm thankful for
because I'm always hungry.
Want her to be hungry. Cool.
Yeah.
When I say early, like our dinner is in between the 5 and 6 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
And she usually gets home, I don't know, 3:15, 3:30.
Okay.
And she decides she thinks it's a good choice to stuff every single item we own that is edible in her mouth. And I have not really fully been on top of the, okay, you shouldn't do that. Like, have a snack because we're going to be having dinner. Because, you know, and if you're new here, you probably didn't hear this. I don't even remember if I shared this with the podcast.
I don't think you did.
My daughter went through like a full-on like eating disorder situation a little while ago when she had gotten sick and then she had lost all this weight. And so her eating brought me happiness and joy. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, girl, you need to eat.
You eat whatever you want, whenever you want.
Oh, exactly. I just made dinner and you don't want to touch it? That's fine. Here's the other thing. If I made dinner and you don't want to touch it right now, when you're hungry in an hour, you're going to eat it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that's how I've viewed this. So the whole point is she comes home, eats whatever, I don't even know, ate whatever she ate. We go out to dinner. So we're out at dinner. She orders herself a full, whole, individual pepperoni pizza.
And then says,
and then she just stared at it. And I'm like, why are you staring at your pizza instead of eating it, you know? And Joel, he's like, oh, we already knew. We already knew this was going to happen. And I'm, okay, well, she'll eat it later. But she said something at one point and it just triggered me. And I was like, well, if you didn't get home and eat the entire house, then maybe you'd be eating your food right now. And as I do that, like I make eye contact with the waitress, and I'm sure my tone and my body language and my aggression, I was like, she's calling CPS on me right now. She's like, this girl probably like is so psycho. She's wrong. I am.
For sure. For sure.
I was like, you don't know the whole story of why I reacted and responded the way I just did.
But let me say, if that server was a mother, I bet she'd be like, yep. It's crazy because I think we've talked about this before, right? Like where before you have kids, you're obviously like, as humans are, very judgmental. Like a kid having a full-on meltdown in a store, you're like, oh, what a bad parent. Or like kids
they
on
don't
an
even
iPad.
Know how to, like, calm their kid. Yeah,
I know. Like kids on an iPad at a restaurant. Oh my God, I would never. And this is the truth. I said when I was a young adult, because we didn't have iPads. When we went to a restaurant, I was not allowed to bring toys or shit. If I was lucky, I could bring a book. Okay. Otherwise, you sit there still and silently, or you have nice, normal, calm conversations with your family at the restaurant dinner table.
Yeah.
My children, and I remember judging when, like, why would you allow your kid to bring their action figure into the I totally was. And now I'm like, Mama's going to enjoy her meal. Here's your fucking iPad. Don't talk to me for the next 20 minutes so I can eat my food in peace. Like, I don't even, and I know for sure when we go to these restaurants and I fucking set up these iPads in front of my kids and I sit there and I'm enjoying my meal and scrolling my phone, I guarantee you there are people like, oh,
it's me. I'm the one judging you in the corner. The one judging you in the corner.
100%.
I'm like,
and
Can ask
you know,
me to have a device out at dinner. Absolutely not a chance in hell.
So this is the thing. I only do it at restaurants. We don't do it at home. At home, they are sitting at the table. They're eating their food. But at a restaurant, I'm like, no, I'm paying good money for this.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm paying good money for this fucking food.
Yeah.
Somebody else prepared for me, greatly appreciated. I'll enjoy this. I'm gonna sit there and stuff my face and also have to calm y'all down. No, like, and it's so funny because I used to be that. I'd be like, oh, the fuck? You can't just have like, you know, no, I can't.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny too, because it's like in different phases, the way that I get that, and I'm not judging you, do you? But then I go out to eat with these friends who their kids bring their phones or their pads or whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing is because they're so used to it when it's just the two of them and they get to do that, that they think that they need that. And I'm like, you know what you need? You need to talk to your friend who's sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know how to do that?
Oh, yeah.
That's
like
crazy to me.
If we go to a restaurant with like family, even just the grandparents, I'm like, no, you guys can, because now I'm like, the grandparents are here. You have an opportunity to talk to someone that you don't like, go for it. Like that, like that is that usually it's a different thing. But and there are times when if I have we call them like a, you know, a mama every day or mama like where it's just the two of us and not two kids. I think really like the iPad is my second parent when I two kids by myself at a restaurant, because I'm like, I can't. I'm outnumbered.
And that's you choosing and making the decision for your own peace and your own mental health and all of that too. Like,
I need it.
Like,
but when I go with just one kid, I don't bring the iPad. Like, I'm able to just like converse and have, you know, whatever. They're not egging each other on and like being annoying with each other. So I'm like, no, like I can. I'm not outnumbered in this.
And here's the other thing. So different because I have one.
Yeah.
I have one. So it's like, no, you can't have that ever in your whole life.
Yeah.
It's funny too, going back to that restaurant and that waitress, that is like, that's a local place here. It's called Gilliam's and I love it. And it's like kind of bar style. They have like a whole bar section with sports and stuff, food. But I feel like every single server is probably a college student who she doesn't know. So she probably looked at me and was like, gosh, she's the meanest human that's ever existed in her whole entire life. And I'm just over here like, if you don't eat, you will starve.
Think about like the way our parents would have responded like to us if we were like, oh, I don't want to eat this. Like it would have been like, get your ass in the fucking car. You're done. We're going home. Like it would have been, there wouldn't have been a conversation about it.
No, I would.
Like, okay,
we wouldn't have left, but I would have been sick because it was you have to eat everything on your plate.
Oh yeah, that was the rule. You eat everything on your plate. And that's period, point blank. Even if it's something that literally makes you gag, like you have to.
I don't want to eat that. I want this for dinner. Wait, when did I say you had a choice on what I was making for dinner?
Never.
What are you talking about? You know when I give you the choice? When I was going to the grocery store and I said, hey, what do you want for dinner this week? And you sat there in silence and you didn't tell me specifically what meal you wanted.
It's so funny. But then now there's times too where like I do something and I'm like, now I get my mom.
That's crazy.
Oh, we need to come up with a new saying instead of we listen, but we don't judge. It needs to be like, we judge, but we still listen. Like we judge it, but we
listen and we do judge. Like,
we listen and we do judge, you know, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. We listen and we judge, but also, and doesn't mean you need to do anything differently.
Exactly.
Judge me back.
Yes, judge me back. There you go. Well, it's so funny when I say certain things and they're like, how do you get your kids to, like one time we were at swim, right? And after swim, they have to rinse off and stuff like that. So I'll tell them, I'll be like, okay, rinse your face, rinse your hair, turn around, like, you know, squeeze your hair. Like, and they know it's like part of the routine. And we usually shove both of them like, you know, to rinse off together. And then it was so funny because there was this mom waiting behind us in line. She goes, wow, they're such good listeners. How did you do that? And honestly, like, fuck if I know. Like, fuck if I know.
The
like,
answer is repetition, routine.
I mean, honestly,
they hear me say it all the time.
routine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the routine is definitely part of it. And, you know, the whole, like, how many times do I have to say something? Like, my kids know. How many times do I need to say something? Once.
Yeah.
Once. Is that a back talk I hear? No. Didn't fucking think so. Like,
right.
And so, like, they know this because, like, since they were 1 year old, like, since they could talk, this is literally, you know? And so it is true that, like, I don't make a conscious effort to do it. I think it's just, it is what it is, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, and it started young.
Here we are. Oh, wow. All right. We went off the
We did.
hinges.
But it was necessary.
Right,
we're making up for a few episodes of Mom Talk. So
yeah, it's all good. So you guys go ahead and write in how you're judging us. We would love to hear it.
I would love to hear how I'm
just
a horrible
don't leave
parent.
it as a review.
If you want to do a
judge
review,
us in our DMs.
You know what? I'm okay if you leave it as a review, but still just give it 5 stars. So, like, give it 5 stars and then say, Heather, you're a horrible parent for letting your kids watch the iPad during dinner time. And
Then
I'll
I
be
will
okay
come
with
for
that. Yeah,
Don't
okay.
ever say that to her. You'll get punched because that version of Rachel woke up this morning. So don't talk to my friend like that, okay?
Please do it. Like, take the 2 seconds right now. Even if you don't want to leave, like, the review, just go leave a rating. That is really how we boosty up and get more people to listen to us talk about how we listen and we judge.
Yeah. I mean, more importantly, listen to the cases and the you know, what we're bringing each week.
True.
But then you make it to this portion, which is, you know, top notch for you guys. I will say, because you just said all that, our numbers, our reviews. So, you know, Heather said, if you're listening and you haven't, I can just assure you, you are listening and you haven't, because the amount of listens that we get compared to the amount of reviews that we get, especially over going on 4 years.
Yeah.
Next month in 2 months. Oh my gosh, that's kind of crazy.
We need to celebrate when we're in Vegas.
Ooh, what should we do to celebrate?
Oh my God.
Celebration. But so I was going to say, first of all, our review number sucks. It's a 4.4. Please bring that up. No one likes to see 4.4 unless you're my dad, because 44 clutch. Anyways, but 88. We need more than 88. Okay, so help us bring those numbers out.
We get more than 88 listeners, like
every
come
day.
on, guys. Yeah, like what the heck?
Every single day we get more than that. So, come on, we could definitely use it. The most recent one was actually one of our bestie. No, the most recent one was not a good one. I will read this. It says, "I love the idea, but the premise of the podcast seems interesting. It is really hard to listen to because they speak so stiltedly that you lose track of the story." So apparently, once we changed our, you know what I mean? We switched the doing stuff first, and maybe we didn't have as much, I don't know, whatever. Listen at the end and you'll be just fine, okay? Opulent. I don't know what that is, but it was the 3-star, whatever. But Chris on Crime, I love that you both make the stories so relatable and real. I appreciate the non-robotic flow. Duh. Thank you. You're
right
welcome.
after another. Boom, boom.
Yeah. She must have literally like opened it and was like, that person's tripping.
Stupid.
Oh, no,
I'm going
no.
to.
It wouldn't even, because the other one would have come before
after
that person.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't even matter. We appreciate it if you guys leave it. If not, we love you guys. Anyways, we just love you more if you leave it with a 5-star review. I think that's pretty much it. We are doing some batch recording the next couple days to get stuff up and loaded, because we will be in CrimeCon the end of the month,
baby.
We are very busy, and not only CrimeCon. After that, I get to just hang out with Heather for a little bit, so that's exciting for me too. I just love it. I love it all. So that is it. We will talk to you guys next Tuesday. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Looking for your next true crime podcast? Then consider checking out my show, Truly Twisted, wherever you get your podcasts. Hi, my name is Alicia Watson, and each Thursday I will be bringing you a twisted story that is always victim-focused and fact-based. My goal is simple, bringing a voice to the voiceless. So be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at It's Truly Twisted. And for more on my show and other amazing creators, visit fireeyesmedia.com. And in the meantime, remember, you are wanted, you are loved, and you deserve to be here. And I'll see you there.
Fire Eyes Media.